welcome to Step on Air. My name is
Hello.
Aaron. You saw me in the introduction video, the first one we put out there. And this is Ioana, which you know from the Basics of Communication video.
Hello.
Hi, Ioana.
Hi, Aaron. How are you?
How is it going? Yeah, I'm quite good. Quite good. Yeah. Usual. I mean, I don't even bother anymore saying lockdown because everyone knows.
Everyone is in lockdown, so it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So we have a topic that we want to talk about today. We both are immigrants in Italy.
Yep.
I don't know about you. I came to Italy when I was 10, and I'm originally Swiss. And you are Romanian. When did you come to Italy?
Yep. I came to Italy when I was 8, and I went back, and I went back again in Italy. I moved around a bit, but
So
mostly I lived in Italy.
you came to Italy from Romania, then you went back to Romania, and then you came back to
Yes.
Italy.
Yep.
That's basically what I did as well, because I mean, after high school, I went back to Switzerland to work, and for my studies, I came back to Italy. So I got you in that one. And we want to talk a bit about our experiences, how it was for us to come to Italy into a new culture. I don't know about you. I didn't know the language when I came here, probably since we're 8.
Me neither, but I was pretty young, so it was kind of easy for me to learn. But at first, the cultural shock was a bit stronger than like not knowing the language.
Of course, yeah. I mean, for me, it was really weird because I came here when like after I finished elementary school, so in that summer where I finished elementary school, and I got right into the Italian school, like straight away, and I didn't know anyone. I just spoke with signs.
Yeah.
So the first 3 months were quite weird because you don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
You don't understand anything. But the funny thing is, yeah, when you're young, like the language, it comes in like this. I think if I would go to some place right now and stay there 3 months at this age, I wouldn't learn the language so fast, probably.
I think we're kind of lucky because I mean we get to interact with a lot of people. We are a lot luckier than like our parents who moved here. For example, my parents moving here, it took a lot of time for them to learn a new language, and they still have a lot of trouble with it. Whereas for me, even if I moved to another country, I know English. I can, for example, I can integrate into that culture a little bit faster, and then I can perhaps learn the language. But yeah, if you move for like 3 months.
But it's like it has two sides though. English. I mean, if you know English, so you go to another place where I don't know, like for example, France. You go to France, you speak English, and people understand you. You get to interact with other people. But the problem there is that you won't learn the language, or not as fast as you should, because you already speak English and everyone speaks English. So it has like a double side in terms of integration, because you get integrate once you know the language.
I don't know if you know this, but there's something called the monolingual bias, where people who know English believe that everybody knows English, so they don't care to learn a different language.
Right. True. That's what a lot of people do when they come to Italy. I mean, Italy, a lot of people do know English, especially in cities. But if you go to the smaller towns, it's hard to find people who speak English, especially because smaller towns are usually not so, like, age-wise, 40 and 50 above.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Also, I don't know if you had the same problem when you came here, but like when I came here, everybody expected me to already know Italian, to be the one who made the first step, especially like 10 or 20 years ago. But like you said, in smaller towns, people are a lot older. Well, Italy is a bit on the older side with the population.
Yeah.
But
I think it's one of the oldest countries in the world in average. I'm not sure about this.
I don't know either, but but that's what we know. I don't know if people know it, but we consider Italy like one of the countries with the oldest people, with the oldest population. But I don't know if people from other countries know this.
Not sure. I mean, I guess like it's not something that you usually want to know about in your country. Don't go to look. What's the average age in Italy?
60.
That could be.
What?
And yeah. So your first impression of Italy, how was that? I mean, we talked a bit about it already, but how were your first 3 or 4 weeks in Italy, not knowing the language? Did you make friends right away? Like, how was that?
No, I was also very shy, so that didn't help. But like when you're a kid, it helps because you just play. You don't really need to immediately know the language. You get a lot of help from physically interacting, and like you said,
Yeah,
using
that is
sign
true.
language. But now it would have been a lot more difficult to integrate, not knowing the language completely, because you miss out on a lot of stuff, not knowing exactly how to communicate with people. It gets more embarrassing when you're older because you're afraid of making mistakes.
Yeah, because with the older you get, the more you have like this kind of social pressure. As a kid, I
Yeah,
guess like if I would come to Italy right now, I would be way more awkward in a
yeah,
social interaction where I don't know either English or Italian. I would be probably pretty lost. And as a kid, yeah, it was very easy. Because I was pretty lucky that my mom was immediately became friends with one of our neighbors, and that neighbor
okay.
did some summer programs for children. And she said, "Yeah, send your son. He'll have fun." And I made a friend there through sign language, who actually
Whoa,
is still a friend of mine. Like we got along just with signs, which is the beauty of kids, I guess.
I think, yeah. You don't care, you're not embarrassed. You don't have, like you said, that social pressure. How was it for you? Because, for example, Romanian is a neo-Roman language. Well, German and especially like Swiss German is not exactly similar. How was it for you?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you would suppose it was difficult to learn the language or to adapt or anything. I think language-wise, it wasn't really difficult. I don't know why, but I learned pretty fast. I guess it's, as we said, a kids thing.
Yeah,
Um, but it was more it's weird, but it was the nature, I guess, that hit me the most. Because
yeah,
Switzerland is very iconic on nature, right? Like you
yeah,
have
yeah.
all this green and mountains and lakes and rivers and everything. Um, and I moved to Piedmont in Italy, which is a hill region where they produce wine and hazelnuts. So the scenery was pretty different from where I came from, and also the architecture and everything. It's a very weird thing to look at as a child, but I remember it hit me the most that the houses were so different, that the houses had
Yeah,
different colors. Because in
yeah, yeah.
Switzerland, almost every house is white. In towns and cities, in the mountains, it's brown because it's made out of wood. But uh, yeah, so I think that was my uh, the thing that hit me the most,
Yeah, yeah,
the scenery of
yeah,
Italy.
yeah.
And
I get you on
the air, that's also a big thing.
the air. What?
Yeah, yeah, the air is really different. These are weird things to try to explain, but uh,
I have something similar to that, but explain. Sorry.
no, I can't actually. So please go on.
I was thinking that you're talking about the air. I was thinking that in Romania the light is completely different because every memory that I have from Romania is kind of sepia colored.
Okay, what color? See, what color?
Sepia. Do you know like old photos? They have that kind of yellowish light.
Oh, okay, okay, like
That's
grainy and
yeah, exactly. That's how I remember.
you basically have like a 70s idea of Romania and
Yeah, I don't know. if it's like real or if it's just my memories, my imagination, but I have a similar idea. For you it's air, for me it's light.
I guess that's also related to the fact that you were a child, so you weren't like reasoning on society or culture or anything, so you just reason with the things you have in front of you. Yeah. Did you hit any did you meet up with any stereotypes during your stay in Italy, like in the beginning or afterwards? Like, was there anything where people would either judge you on stereotypes, or where you went back to Romania and had to explain that stereotypes in Italy are not what they think they are, or stuff like that? Just the world of stereotypes, living bi-nationally.
There are many stereotypes that Italians have about Romanians. So many, you can not even explain all of them. But I also had a lot of weird stereotypes that Romanian people have about the Italians. So that's a weird mix. For example, when I came here, a lot of older Romanian people thought that Italians only ate frog legs.
What?
It's weird and it makes no sense. It actually happens because it is like a traditional dish, but it's not like all Italian people eat only that.
It's like saying in France they eat snails and that's it.
Exactly the same thing.
Got it.
It's not like all people eat frog legs.
That's so weird. I never heard that one. I have to back in Switzerland, I usually deal with the thing of Italians are loud and Italians are messy and Italians gesticulate a lot. And,
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, that is kind of true. And the fact is that I exaggerate all that because I represent all that. Because I don't know, I kind of picked that stuff up as well. So when I go back to Switzerland, basically
you're loud
they say,
and messy.
oh, so you became real Italian now because I gesticulate a lot and I'm loud and I'm messy. And
we talk with our hands.
True. I think there's the psychological study part, like, is body language, which is used also in communications. And I guess it would be interesting to confront different nationalities with the body languages. I mean, I'm not an expert on the thing. Maybe I'm saying a dumb thing, but
no, but it's true. For example,
it would be interesting to see the differences, like in body language.
Yeah, from what I know, that like English people, like British English people, they are very distant. For example, we talk in people's face. We are like very close. We touch each other.
We have no idea of personal spaces. Like
no, none at all. For example, English people don't touch each other. Everyone has their own personal space. I would be very weirded out if people didn't touch me, because I would be like, are you angry with me? What's going on?
Yeah, which is a thing that right now in the COVID period is also very weird, because you don't know how to speak to people. You're afraid to go too close, and it makes everything really weird. I'm not used to keeping distance while interacting with other people. I don't know if that's probably not an Italian thing. I guess that's most nationalities.
What I've picked up from Italian culture is that you say hi to people by hugging them, kissing them, which is similar to Romanian culture as well. Whereas other cultures are very different. There are different ways of saying hi, which is something very simple, but it says a lot about your culture. And it can be a bit of a cultural shock when you go to a different culture and they say hi in a different way. For example, the first time I went to France, I was very embarrassed because, for example, they kiss you 3 times on the cheek in a different in some cities, whereas in other cities they kiss you twice or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And getting to know,
we kiss also 3 times. We do the 3 on the cheek, not 2. Also, but you're saying a cool thing, because actually I remembered now that when in high school, I mean, I had some close friends, and me and close friends, we would hug sometimes, like, dude, what's going on, and hug. And I remember going back to Switzerland one summer or something, and I met up with some old friends from elementary school that I didn't see in a long time. And I went in for a hug, and they were like weirded out. They were like, "What are you doing?"
Don't touch me.
I don't know. I'm used like this. Sorry.
Yeah.
And that's true. Yeah, it is different.
And it's not something good or bad. It's just interesting to get to know the different intricacies of each country.
But I think, yeah, on that side, I think Italy is a very warm country, like very how do you say, kind of takes you in. While
Yeah.
for example, Switzerland is also very keep your distance, man.
Yeah.
Don't get into my personal space
Personal
too much.
space. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be good or bad. I mean, if you're a shy person, Swiss culture can be good for you because you're like, please don't touch me, you're embarrassing me. Whereas Italian culture is very, hey, come here, hug me, something like that.
Yeah.
And if you're shy, it's not the best thing ever.
It's also like for me, it was like that. It was very the integration process for me was very how do you say, helped. I got helped a lot from all sides from Italians. I never encountered any kind of racism, which is pretty obvious in the sense that I'm a white male and blonde and blue eyes and not that different from Italians in culture and everything.
And I feel like cliches
So I got
about Swiss.
I got helped a lot, and I had this one episode in middle school. That was 2 years after I came to Italy, where an Indian guy came to school, and he was basically in the same situation. He moved with his family here. He didn't know Italian, and we were trying to the teachers were trying to teach him Italian and help him out and everything. But the interesting part is that some guys and girls who were very nice to me in the beginning weren't with him because he either because he looked different or because he had a different culture. But it was very weird to see that switch. So what I can say is that is only my experience, and I got this beautiful, like, warm welcome, and people wanted me here. I felt wanted. While then I see other people from other nationalities, they come here and they're not getting wanted. So Italy is big on integration. For me, I don't know how it is for other people. So that's why actually I wanted to talk with you about this, because you're Romanian and Romania is quite different.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like cliches about Switzerland are quite positive because Italians see you as punctual, precise, and as someone to trust in some ways. Whereas
we have banks.
You're rich.
We have banks. And chocolate. Who doesn't like chocolate? So
exactly. I mean, money and chocolate, it's pretty positive. Whereas cliches about Romania are or were, I'm not sure at the moment, but when I first came to Italy, they were quite negative. We were seen as people who were stealing Italians' jobs or as thieves, not people you should trust anyway. So at first it was not so easy making friends with other kids because they have that view that their parents give to them. So if that nationality is viewed in a certain way by their parents, they're going to inherit that view. So that's what I think happened to your classmate, probably. Because they saw him.
It all comes from the parents.
Yeah, obviously.
Sadly true.
But my teachers helped me a lot. I mean, they were very welcoming. I was also very good kid by that I mean that I was studying a lot. And for example, a lot of people weren't expecting that. One of my best friends in high school, the first time I got my first mark, it was the highest mark in the class, and he was like, I didn't imagine you were that smart. I mean, you're Romanian. I was like, am I supposed to be stupid? Am I supposed to be stupid?
Oh, that's an ugly sentence. That's a very ugly sentence. Wow.
Well, thank you. Well, now he's one of my best friends, so I mean, I forgave him. But
that's harsh.
you're Romanian. Why are you not stupid? Well, thank you. But I mean, it changed a lot in times. I mean, now people, when I tell them that I'm Romanian, they don't think badly of me. At least I think so. I don't know. I mean, you probably hate me. I don't even know. What do you think about me? You're Swiss.
Oh no, Swiss people don't even know that Romania exists, probably.
Oh, thank you.
Just kidding. I don't know. I don't know.
How did you see Italians when you came here? I mean, you're a lot closer than us, culturally and geographically.
Actually, there are big differences between Switzerland and Italy. Also, in terms of culture, in the sense of that Italy has a lot of culture and Switzerland doesn't.
That's sad.
But
That's really, really sad.
no, I mean we never had like an empire. We never had big artists or huge artists. Or even if we had, we didn't have many. We were more on the scientific side or stuff like that, and always a bit for ourselves throughout the history. Never really got into other people's problems, so we stayed for us, you know. But that is actually still happening. I guess like the first time when I came to Italy, I didn't have a big cultural shock. I did have my cultural shock when I went back to Switzerland,
Well,
which was quite different because when I left Switzerland, I was still in school, and when I came back to Switzerland, I came out of high school and started to work, and so I met the working world in Switzerland, which is very how can you put that? It's kind of, you just exist for working during the week, so you just do that. There's no like no big distractions, which in Italy are there. Like, let's take a coffee break, or let's get lunch together. Let's do that.
2 hours later.
Yeah, and then in Switzerland, it's very structured. I guess the typical Swiss thing, like everything is organized, and the thing that hits me the most, or every time I go to Switzerland, for example, are trains. Trains in Italy are loud and messy, and people talk, and they don't care about other people's trips.
And also, they're never on time, so.
Right. That is a big problem in Italy. But the biggest delay I ever had in terms of trains was because of the Swiss Army. So
Confusing.
yeah, I know. No, I don't know. The army was trying to do something on the border. They were having like I don't know, some kind of trial. So the train had to stop, and we stayed there for 60 minutes, and I got stuck in Como. Yeah, in Como. After that, and I didn't have any trains, so I was just stuck for the night in Como. And that was due to the Swiss Army. So that was my biggest train delay ever, and it was not Italian.
Only 60 minutes, huh?
But no, the thing I was saying about trains is that in Switzerland, you go on a train and it seems like you're in a graveyard. It's so silent, like really no one talks. Not even if you sit with friends, right? You talk with on a very, very low volume because you don't want to disturb other people, and that difference hits you as soon as you cross the border. It's so crazy. It's like really you go from to very, very weird. And
Would be
yeah,
funny to put an Italian, a loud Italian, on a Swiss train and see what happens. Chaos.
probably happens. And Swiss people, they wouldn't even get angry. They would just go like, shh. And if you don't stay silent, they would go again, shh. And the shh gets always louder as angrier as they get, but they never will say anything.
The Swiss are like the Canadian of Europe. They're always like pretty calm.
Yeah, we could say that, maybe, I guess.
And the Italians are the Americans.
But then
Loud
again,
and messy.
that's a stereotype.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about, and then I'm kind of done with my list. I don't know if you have a list. I always have lists. That's a Swiss thing, for example. I always make a list of everything.
I'm Romanian. I don't have lists. Okay.
I want to talk about the sense of home. Like where do you feel home more? Like that's a question they ask me very often. Like, do you feel more like a Swiss person or more like an Italian person? And that's kind of difficult to answer because you have both cultures. You lived through both cultures. So it's hard to say, right? It's hard to define what you feel like you're more. In terms of official things, I'm Swiss.
Yeah.
That's it. But I feel like even though I want to be Swiss, I feel like I'm more Italian than I am Swiss.
Because that's where you belong in a way. I mean, where you
it's
grew up
less,
with.
less where I belong, because in the end we never belong anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we
not where you belong, but where you feel like you belong. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't put it like that because I don't feel like I belong here.
No.
But Italy influenced most of who I am, and formed my character as I am today, I guess. So I would say I'm more Italian.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, for me, it's weird. Something when people ask me that, because it does happen, especially when you're an immigrant who lived and grew up in Italy. What I usually say is that I feel European, because it's not like my culture was only formed by Italy or only formed by Romania. It was mostly formed by this moving around in Europe, by learning different cultures, by interacting with people from different cultures. I grew up mostly in Italy, so it does influence me a lot. But it's not like this is the only place where I will spend the rest of my life. It's not the only thing that has made me grow up and made me change and made me become the person that I am. There are many different aspects, many different cultures that played a big role in who I am today. So not Italian, not Romanian, a mix of everything in a way.
Yeah, I guess that's a good answer, especially for our generation. I mean, we should feel more European, I guess, to bring on this concept of unity and in this big family that is Europe. And yeah. So
I mean,
let's break down some tips for people who come to Italy. Let's close up this episode. Just random tips for people who come to Italy for the first time and want to organize their lives here.
Be loud, be messy.
I mean, if not us, who?
Exactly. We're the perfect people to give you tips. What's your top tip for people who come to Italy?
Don't be afraid of bureaucracy, and do it all in 1 week. just give yourself 1 week of time and just focus on bureaucracy, because Italian bureaucracy is a slow process and a messy process. So I suggest you, as soon as you come to Italy, take 1 week and just focus on all your documents, all your permits, your house, your contracts, your whatever. Just do that in 1 week, and your life will be way more easy.
Yeah.
What's yours?
My tip would be patient, because you're gonna need a lot of patience with bureaucracy and with everything here. And also, don't give up on your culture. Try to integrate it into your life here, because it's gonna enrich you. You don't need to give up on who you were before, on your culture before, in order to be integrated here. Try to mix it up and enrich yourself in your culture and who you are, because it's going to help you in the future.
But also really focus on the local culture. If you ask Italian people about their culture or about their city or about anything that relates to them being Italian, usually people love that, and the integration gets accelerated really fastly, because I think that's how it works. It's a both way thing. Like, as soon as you interest yourself in the other one's culture, something will come back as well.
Yeah. Also, travel a lot, because Italy is full of stuff that you need to see,
and full of so many different cultures, because it's every region has its own.
It's not guaranteed that you're gonna understand the language, because like every region has a different dialect. If you go to Naples or Rome or Sicily, you're probably not gonna understand anything,
or at least have some issues. Yeah, I mean, I went to Naples like 7 or 8 times, and I have a good friend from Naples, but sometimes he speaks like really fastly with his Campanian accent.
Yeah. It's also really funny. What you said. I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah, you're right. All right. Yeah, I guess that was our tips for integration in Italy. And I hope you have an amazing stay here. And I hope you will learn a lot about this beautiful country.
And I hope you can live it sometime soon. Bye.
Okay, guys, so this was Step on Air on immigration. Have a nice week. Stay safe. And let us know in comments or via mail or on Instagram direct if you want to talk about anything. We always like to read your messages. Or tell us your story. Also about integration. I'm curious to hear your story about how your arrival in Italy was.
And also the clichés that you had about Italy and the Italians had about your country, because that's pretty funny.
Bye.
Bye, guys.